This is lecture number 8 of digital signal processing. So here we will take a look at the Z transform and we will see how this Z transform is done, right? And the region of convergence of Z transform, right? Then inverse of Z transform. With the examples we will see how this is done. Okay, so this is the definition of Z transform. X is this is equal to sigma n equal minus infinity to plus infinity xn multiplied by z to the power minus n, right? So we can represent this as just a representation. Xz is equal to z xn, z within brackets xn. That means z transform of xn is equal to xz, right? So so you note down xz is the z transform of xn, right? So what we have to do is we will have xn value, right? Then when we substitute xn values in this equation, we can get z transform as the output. Okay, so xz it xz I have expanded this series for few terms, right? So it will start from minus infinity, but I will show you only few terms, right? So as an example, so I have shown here x minus 2 z to the power minus 2 when n is equal minus 2 plus x minus 1 z to the power minus 1, right, when n is equal minus 1 plus x0 z to the power minus 0 plus x1 z to the power minus 1 when n is equal to 1 plus x2 z to the power minus 2, right, plus likewise this will go up to plus infinity, right? So when you have xn, what you have to do is you have to just substitute xn values to this equation, then you can find the z transform. So that is simple as that, right? So so as you can see here, but you have to do it from minus n equal minus infinity to plus infinity, right? So we'll take a look at what is this z, right? So z is a complex variable, right? Z is complex variable and it is represented as z equal r e j omega, right? So as an example, uh, as the above example, what you can do is actually z equal r e j omega, which is a complex variable, right? Then consider when r is equal to 1. When we substitute r equal 1 to z, z is equal to e j omega, right? So what will happen is, take a look at the definition, equation of the definition, then we replace z by e j omega, right? So therefore we'll get x e j omega equal sigma n equal minus infinity to plus infinity xn e to the power minus j omega n, right? Z to the power minus n will be e to the power minus j omega n. So therefore what we have got here is, this is the discrete time Fourier transform, right? So can you remember, we have done this one in a previous lecture, right? X e j omega, it will have this same equation. So it is like when we substitute z with e j omega, what we are getting is the discrete time Fourier transform, right? Discrete time Fourier transform is the thing that we are getting. So as an example, when we have xz, it will consist of z values. So substitute z equal e j omega, we can directly get discrete time Fourier transform, right? Or else, let's say we will have x e j omega, right? X e j omega, then if we substitute e j omega, right, in the e j omega, values, right, with z, we can get z transform, we can get xz, right? So hope you can remember when you are doing Fourier transform and the Laplace transform, right? So in Fourier transform you will have like terms called j omega, right? And if you replace j omega terms by s, that means Laplace S, variable S, then what you are getting is Laplace transform. Or if you have Laplace transform with S terms, if you substitute S equal j omega, what you are getting is the Fourier transform. So likewise, between DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform, and uh, Z transform, you have the same thing, but the variable has changed, right? So after doing this, what you can do is you can actually refer DTFT, right? Then you can check whether this is correct or not. Okay. So the Z transform and Z transform, right? Z is a function of complex function, right? That means it is a complex variable. So as an example, Z is equal to Eg omega, right? So therefore, what is the magnitude of Eg omega? It is 1, right? It is 1, right? And in Eg omega, omega will change from 0 to 2 pi, right? So when a magnitude of 1 changing from angle 0 to angle 2 phi, what you are getting is a unit circle, right? So since Z is a complex value, we have to represent that one in complex domain. And can you see that I have marked the unit circle in the complex plane, right? So in the other hand, if we are talking about the DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform, right? The angle omega, it is from 0 to 2 phi, right? Then Xeg omega value is in the vertical axis, right? So that is the property, right? So in here, in Z transform, right, you can see the unit circle where omega is omega value, that not omega, the yes, omega means the angle value, right? The angle value, it is changing from 0 to 2 pi. In Xeg omega, it is changing from 0 to 2 pi. So as I have shown you previously, if you take a Z transform of any discrete time function, right, what you are getting is, so Z is a series. Series means an addition, right? Addition of the sequence. So when you have an addition of a sequence, it will add up to a value, right? So as an example, let's say series 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus up to infinity, that will add up to a value, right? Value means, so any series we can find the summation or the series value, right? So uh, so when we are talking about a series, so what we have to talk about is the convergence. Convergence means if the series summation of the series, if that is less than infinity, right? That is less than infinity, we call that series converges, right? So like that, in Z transform also, we had the Z transform exist, or it will converge, right? Only if sigma minus infinity to plus infinity, magnitude of xn into magnitude of z to the power minus n less than infinity, right? And the set of values of z for which z transform converges is called the region of convergence. So can you understand that? So for any series, it will have a final summative value, right? If that value is less than infinity, we call that series is convergent, right? So for Z transform, that is sigma minus inverted plus infinity xn. So if in a sigma minus inverted plus infinity xn is to the power minus n the magnitudes, right? So when that is less than infinity, we call it as we call that the Z transform, right? That means Z transform exists or it converges. And actually I have told you Z is R E J omega, right? So Z can be any value, right? So previously I have shown just the unit circle when R is equal to 1, but Z can be any value in the complex plane, right? Any value, right? So therefore the values of Z that will satisfy, or the values of Z which make the Z transform converges, we call it as region of convergence, right? So as an example, um, if some value of Z, say Z equal to Z1 is in the region of convergence, then all values of Z on the circle defined by magnitude of Z equal to Z1 will also be in the ROC, right? So so Z is a variable, right? R, E, J, omega. It can have any value, right? So, but only for certain values of Z, the series will converges. That means the Z transform exists only for set of values of Z. We call them that as region of convergence, right? We call it as region of convergence because it is not just one value of Z, right? For for a region of values of Z, the series can be convergence. Therefore, we call it as ROC, regions of convergence, right? Then we'll take a look at what are the properties of ROC, right? Properties of ROC. So ROC of Z transform is indicated with circle in Z plane, right? Because Z is R E J omega, right? So the best way that we can represent Z is as a um, by the polar representation. When we have polar representation, and since we are only considering the magnitude, right, what we are getting is a circle, right? So I'll explain it when we are doing it, doing examples, right? And the ROC does not contain any poles, right? So consider this example. Let's say xz is equal to numerator divided by denominator. Poles means the roots of the denominator. That means the values of values that make uh, the denominator equal 0, right? So let's say numerator divided by 0, that will be infinite. Infinite means xz value is infinite. If xz value is infinite, that means that is not the convergence, right? Because xz value should be less than 0, right? Magnitude of xz, that should be less than 0. So therefore ROC will not contain any poles. Consider Xn is a causal sequence. Causal sequence means Xn will have values for n equals 0 to plus infinity. There won't be Xn values for n less than 0. Right? So we call them as right-handed sequence. Then ROC, it will be the entire Z plane except Z equals 0. Right? Except Z equals 0. So let's say Xn is finite duration, but anti-causal. Anti-causal means left-sided sequence. Left-sided sequence means the Xn will exist for n equals 0 and n is less than 0. That means n negative. There won't be anything where for n is larger than 0. So at that time ROC will be the Z plane except Z equal infinity. Right? Z equal infinity. Okay. Then let's say Xn is infinite duration causal sequence. Causal means again right hand side. There won't be anything for the left hand side of Xn. Then ROC is exterior of a circle with radius uh, A. Right. So as an example, is a magnitude of Z larger than A, that will represent the circle, right? Magnitude of Z, magnitude of Z, that will be larger than A. So exterior to that circle defined by Z equal A, exterior to the circle Z equal A, that means Z magnitude of Z larger than A, that will be the ROC, right? Then xn is infinite duration, again anti-causal. Anti-causal means left hand side. Xn will exist for n equals 0 and n negative. So ROC is interior of a circle, of a circle defined as magnitude of z equal a, right? So that circle is magnitude of z equal a. So ROC will be magnitude of z less than a. That means the interior of the circle. So we'll see this thing when we are explaining the rest. Right, then if xn is finite duration, so again finite duration, two-sided means both xn will exist for n negative and positive both with 0, right? With or without 0, right? That means xn will, there can be a value at 0 or there won't be, but the xn will be there for n is negative and positive both, right? Then the ROC is entire z plane except z equals 0 and z equal infinity, right? So this is just some properties, and I'll show you how that works when we are doing the rest. Okay. So consider this and duration signal. So causal, as you can see, the left hand side you can see xn, the right hand side you can see the region of convergence, ROC, right? So first one, causal means xn will exist from 0 to 0 and only positive n values, right? Positive n values. So in here shaded is the z plane, right? So you can see here two axis, that is real axis and imaginary axis. This is the z plane, right? Right hand side. So the ROC will be entire z plane except z equals 0. Therefore, z equals 0 is omitted when we are marking the region of convergence. Right? So there's nothing is not given here. We are talking about region of convergence. Anti-causal. Anti-causal means left hand side finite sequence. So this is finite duration sequence, all three, right? Anti-causal left hand side. So for n equal 0 to -1, -2, likewise only for negative values xn exist, right? For other n values, that means for positive n values, xn is 0. You can see it in the figure, right? Then the ROC, region of convergence, will be the entire z plane except z equal infinity, right? So therefore we cannot mark z equal infinity, we cannot omit z equal infinity by showing in the z plane, therefore it is marked like this. So entire z plane except z is infinite. So then next one, two-sided. Two-sided means in there will be xn values for both in negative and positive. So therefore the region of convergence, as it is marked in the right hand side, it will be entire z plane except z equals 0 and z equal infinity. Then we'll talk about infinite duration signals. So when the signal is infinite duration, so we have the first on causal or right hand side. In there, I have told you previously, is that region of convergence will be exterior of a circle, right? So here the circle is magnitude of z equal r2. The equation of the circle is magnitude of z equal r2, and the region of convergence is the exterior of that, which is magnitude of z larger than r2, right? Then anti-causal means it is left hand side sequence. So in there the region of convergence will be magnitude of z less than r1. So the circle equation is magnitude of z equal r1, and the ROC will be magnitude of z less than r1. That means the interior of the circle marked by z, magnitude of z equal r1, right? Then when xn consists of both n negative and positive values, uh, so this is infinite duration signal. So the as you can see here, the region of convergence will be a value between two circles, right? So exterior of magnitude of z equal r2 and interior to the magnitude of z equal r1. That will be the region of convergence. So we'll see when we are doing this thing what will happen, right? So these are the common Z transform pairs, right? So as an example, when we have delta n is when n is equal to 0, delta n is equal to 1. Therefore, when you can do the, you can apply Z transform, you will get Z transform is equal to 1, right? Then we have shown you two things, right? So we look at how these things are done. So always when we are doing a Z transform, there will be what you call region of convergence, right? So here I have shown you some finite duration signals, right? X1n, X2n up to X5n. So how can you find the Z transform of these things, right? So what I have highlighted in first part A, that is the value at n equal 0, right? So what will be x1z? So when we are transforming x1n, it will be x1z. So what will be x1z? Yes, so it will be like 1 z to the power minus 0 plus 2 z to the power minus 2, right? So likewise you can find by applying this to the xz equals sigma n equal minus infinity to plus infinity xn is to the power minus. We'll see what will happen here, right? So we'll take a look at the first one, right? First one, x1 is that is equal to 1 plus 1 is from 1 is to the power 0. So we'll take a look at a, right? First one, x1 is right? 1 plus 2 is to the power minus 1. 2 is the value at n equal 1, right? 5 is the value at n equal 2. So therefore 5 is to the power minus 2 plus 7 is to the power minus 3 plus 0 into z to the power minus 4. So that has cancel out. Therefore 1 into z to the power minus 5, right? So like that, okay? And as you can see, this is causal system or anti-causal. This is causal, right? So the values of simple n is simple n, right? I'm talking about simple n. It means x1n exists right hand side, right? So therefore the region of convergence will be entire z plane, right? Except z equals 0, as I have explained previously, okay? Then part B, x2n. X2n is this causal or anti-causal? No, right? Part B, x2n, that is both two-sided. Two-sided means we will have like when n equals 0, x2 is equal to 5. When n equal minus 1, we will have x2 as 2. When n is equal to minus 2, x2 is equal to 1. So like, and we will have when n equal 1, x2 is equal to 7. When n equal 2, x2 is 0. So likewise we will have both. uh, if you draw x2n, it will be both sided. It will go to negative side and positive side both, right? So therefore again the same thing, right? Just apply the definition of xz, then you are getting x2 z dash z squared plus 2z plus 5 plus 7 z to the power minus 1 plus z to the power minus 3, right? So as you can remember, ROC will be entire z plane except z equals 0 and z equal infinity, okay? So I will explain why it becomes why we are getting ROC like that, because so as an example, substitute for part B, substitute z equals 0. What will happen? There are terms of z to the power minus 1 and z to the power minus 3. If we substitute substitute z equals 0, what will happen is z to the power minus 1 and z to the power minus 3, those values will be infinite. So if it is infinite, this series will not converge. Therefore, z equals 0 will not include in ROC, right? Then the other one, z equal infinity. Substitute z equal infinity to x2z. If we substitute z equal infinity, what will happen is z squared and 2z, that will be infinite. So again, x2z will not converge. That means the value will not be less than 0, less than infinite. It will be infinite. So therefore, except z equals 0 and z equal infinity, we have ROC, right? So this is easy when we are explaining in an example. So like this, right? Then go to C, part C, x3n equal delta n, right? So when we have a delta x3z, delta n will only exist at n equals 0. Therefore, the answer is x3z is equal to 1, right? So there's nothing z terms, there's no z terms in here. Therefore, the ROC, region of convergence, will be z10, because region of convergence is not dependent on z, right? So that means, therefore, for not region of convergence, x3z, that will not dependent on any z value. Therefore, for any z value, x3z will be finite, which is equal to 1, right? That means it converges. Then part D, x4n. x4n is equal to delta n minus k, and n is larger than 0. Larger than 0 means delta n minus k will exist at the right hand side, right? So if you apply z transform, x4z will be z to the power minus k, right? Since k is larger than 0, z to the power minus k will be z to the power minus any positive value, right? Therefore, region of convergence will be entire z plane except z equals 0, because when z is equal to 0, uh, what will happen is x4z will become infinite. That means it will not converge. That means we cannot find z transform, right? Then part E, x5n equal delta n plus k. So again, k is larger than 0, therefore x5z is equal to zk. So we have obtained x1z, x2z, x3z up to x5z using the definition, right? So z to the power k, when k is and k is larger than 0. So you can see, if you substitute z equal infinity, x5z will be infinite. Therefore, ROC cannot have z equal infinite. So therefore, ROC will be the entire z plane except z equal infinity, right? Right. So consider this example. So here it says to uh, find the transform of the signal. So xn is half to the power n un. That means x n exists from n equals 0 to infinity. So this is infinite iteration. So xn we can write as 1, 1 over 2, 1, 2 squared, 1 over 2 to the power 3. So likewise, right? Is equal to 1 when n is equal to 0. Right? So when we are applying the equation, right? When we apply the equation, we will get like we will get 1 plus 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 plus 1 over 2 squared z to the power minus 2 plus is 1 over 2 to the power 3 z to the power minus 3. So likewise, so that means sigma n equals 0 to infinity 1 over 2 to the power n is to the power minus n, right? Then we can write it as sigma n equals 0 to infinity 1 over 2 into power minus 1, and the entire things index n, right? So as you can remember previously, previously also we have used this formula, right? Sigma n equals 0 to infinity a to the power n. This is equal to 1 over 1 minus if magnitude of a is less than 1. So like magnitude of a, what we have here is 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 magnitude, and when that is less than 1, zx converges. So, when that happens, zx we can write it as 1 over 1 minus 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1. So if we further simplify 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 magnitude less than 1, what we are getting is magnitude of z larger than 1 over 2. So therefore, that is called the region of convergence, ROC. So if you draw magnitude of z equal half, and the complex exterior to that means magnitude of z larger than 1 over 2 will be the region of convergence. So therefore, for any value of z larger than magnitude larger than 1 over 2, xz can be found, and that is equal to 1 over 1 minus 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1. So I will explain this one again. Xn 1 over 2 to the power n un, that means xn only exists from n equals 0 to infinity. This is infinite duration signal, right? So if you found xz, you will get 1 minus 1 plus what is that 1 over 2 to the power squared z to the power minus 2. Likewise, sigma n equals 0 to infinity. 1 over 2 to the power n z to the power minus n. Then taking simple n out, this will be sigma n equals 0 to infinity 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 and n of index n of the entire thing, right? Then when we have something like sigma n equals 0 to infinity a to the power n, we can write it as 1 over 1 minus a if magnitude of a is less than 1. So likewise we can write this as this answer as x is equal to 1 over 1 minus 1 over 2 z minus 1, because a is equal to 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 in here. And this we can write only when magnitude of 1 over 2 z to the power minus 1 is less than 1, right? Because in magnitude of a is less than 1. So therefore, if we further simplify this one, we can write it as magnitude of z larger than half. So that is the region of convergence of this z transform. We can find this z transform only for the values of z. Magnitude of z is larger than half. Magnitude of z larger than half means if we draw magnitude of z equal half, that means there is a circle which has a center 0, the origin in this plane. The exterior to that we have the region of convergence. This is another example. Again, xn is equal to a to the power n un. That means xn will only exist from n equals 0 to infinity. So when we apply Lizard transform, so it will be given as n equal minus infinity to plus infinity an un z to the power minus n. Un means n values will be from n equals 0 to infinity. Therefore, sigma n equals 0 to infinity a is z to the power minus 1 and the entire thing n, right? So again we can write this as xz equal 1 over 1 minus a z minus 1 when a z minus 1 is magnitude of a z 1 is a z minus 1 is less than 1, right? That means magnitude of z larger than magnitude of a, right? Can you see? So therefore xz is equal to z over z minus a when we simplify, and the ROC will be magnitude of z larger than magnitude of a. So you can see the z plane. In the z plane we have marked here what we have marked in here is magnitude of z equal a, that the circle will have magnitude of z equal a. After drawing magnitude of z equal a circle, which is shown in here, so the exterior magnitude of z larger than a, that is the exterior of the circle. So that is our region of. So can you see that when z is equal to 0, right? Z is equal to 0, I have marked a 0. 0 means the values when x z become 0, right? Then when z is equal to a, I have marked the pole. Pole means where x z becomes infinite, right? So just refer that thing. Next example, xn equal minus uh, a to the power n u minus n minus 1, right? So that thing binding, and it is drawn in the graph. You can see xn drawn in the graph. So xn will exist minus 1 to minus infinity. So refer, xn will exist from minus 1 to minus infinity. At 0 it is 0, xn at 1 is 0. So for all positive and when xn is equal to 0, n is equal to 0, xn is 0. Therefore this is entirely left hand side value, right? So like this. So if you apply xz is equal to sigma n equal minus infinity to plus infinity minus a to the power n u minus n minus 1 z to the power minus n. Then when we apply limits, so as I have told you, it is actually xn exists only from n equal minus infinity to minus 1, right? So this is equal to minus n, we can take out, and without n equal minus infinity to minus 1, a to the power n is to the power minus n. The limits has changed because xn exists from n equal minus 1 to n equal minus infinity, right? So that minus sign comes from minus a to the power n, then a n is to the power minus n, right? So as you can see it in here, right? Then uh, in order to change the limits from n equal 1 to n equal infinity, we are replacing simple n by minus n, right? So you can see minus sigma n equal 1 to infinity a to the power minus n is z to the power n, right? Because we have replaced n by minus n, therefore it has changed like this. Then you can see, in order to apply our series, that means sigma n equals 0 to infinity a to the power n, which is equal to 1 over 1 minus a, we have to make it in that order. Therefore what we named in here is when n is equal to when the value when n equal 0. Therefore we will add the value of n equals 0, then we will subtract the value at n equal 0. So if you substitute n equals 0, what we are getting uh, here is minus 1. So we will add minus 1, and in order to cancel out that, we will add plus 1. Therefore this will change to 1 minus sigma n equals 0 to infinity a to the power minus 1 z to, and z, and the entire thing to the n, right? So I have shown you this one in DTFT also, so take a look at that one as well. Then we can write summation as just the summation, right? 1 over 1 minus a to the power minus 1 into z when magnitude of a to the power minus 1 z is less than 1, right? That means when magnitude of z is less than magnitude of a, right? So therefore xz will equal to 1 minus 1 over 1 minus a to the power minus 1 z. Then when we simplify, we are getting it as x z equal z over z minus a, and the region of convergence is magnitude of z less than magnitude of a, right? So then take a look at the convergence marked on the z plane. Right? In the z plane, you can see I have drawn magnitude of z equal magnitude of a circle, right? A circle, and the region of convergence is magnitude of z less than magnitude of a. Therefore, that is the interior of the circle where I have, right? So that is the region of convergence. And again, you can see here when z is equal to 0, there will be a 0 at 0, and when z is equal to a, there will be a pole at z equal to a. And also, I have marked a unit circle as well in here. But the arrows is only the part that I have. Next one, determine the transform of the signal xn equal a to the power n un plus b to the power n u minus n minus 1, right? So in here, if you are applying it, x is equal to, when you have un, that means n value is from n equals 0 to infinity, right? So uh, before applying a transform, you have to draw a to the power n un and b to the power n u minus n minus 1 separately, right? That means a to the power n un, draw, and then bn u minus n minus 1 you can draw. Then you can see how those things are happening, how those things are drawn, right? So x is that this is equal to n equals 0 to infinity a to the power n um, un. So un we are not writing here, therefore x is that this is equal to sigma n equals 0 to infinity, because uh, a to the power n un will only exist from n equals 0 to infinity, right? N equals 0 to infinity, an z to the power minus n plus, then if you have drawn u minus b to the power n u minus n minus 1, you will see that function will only exist. So this is like the previous function. It will exist from n equal minus 1 to minus infinity. So therefore n equal minus infinity to n equal minus 1, bn is set to the power minus n, right? Again, then we can write sigma n equals 0 to infinity, a is set to the power minus 1 and index of n for entire thing, plus, right, plus n equal 1 to infinity, right? N equal 1 to infinity, b to the power minus 1 is z to the power z to the power z to the power n, right? Z to the power n. So like the previous one. Then if you can find, there will be two terms, uh, two series values, right? Sigma a z minus 1 to the power n plus sigma n equal 1 to infinity b to the power minus 1 z to the power n, right? So when you have when you have drawn this one, you will see, right? You will see that there are two terms. When you have two terms, you have to write region of convergence for each series separately, right? So for one, you will get z larger than a. For the second one, you will get magnitude of z less than b, right? So take a look at the take a look at the uh, take, take a look at the region of convergence, right? So we'll consider one case where magnitude of b is less than magnitude of a, right? When magnitude of b is less than magnitude of a, right? Magnitude of a, what will happen is we have to draw two circles, right? Two circles. One is magnitude, for both we have to draw two circles. Magnitude of z equal magnitude of a, magnitude of z equal magnitude of b, right? if magnitude of B is less than magnitude of A, you can see how the region of convergence is marked. Right? If magnitude of A is less than magnitude of B, you can see how the ROC is marked. Right? So they are two different things. You can see more simplified version of previous example, right? So afterwards, what you have to do is you have to find what will happen to the ROC when uh, magnitude of A is larger than B, then magnitude of A is less than B, like I have done previously. Then we'll take a look at few properties, right? So first one is the linear property. So when we have ax1n plus bx2n, then Z transform will be ax1z plus bx2z. Right? In time shift in xn minus n naught, then that time shift will affect that Z domain by multiplying by z to the power minus n naught. Right? My naught xz. Xz is the Z transform of x. Then multiplication of by an exponential sequence. So in time domain we are multiplying by z naught to the power n. Then xz will change to xz over z naught. That means you have to replace z of xz by z over z naught. And region of convergence will be magnitude of z into region of convergence of xz. Right? Then differentiation. When time domain, when we are multiplying by n, uh, the z domain that will change as minus z into derivative of xz, and region of convergence will not change, it will be Rx. Right, here you can see when we have the time reversal, uh, what you have to do is if you have z transform of xn, which is xz, you just have to replace uh, z of xz by 1 over z in order to find the uh, z transform of x minus n. Right? In order to find the z transform of x minus n, what you have to do is you have to replace z by 1 over z of xz. Right? And ROC will change as 1 over Rx. Right? So this is the time reversal property. Then the convolution, right? In the convolution, um, if we have uh, z transform of x1n as x1z, and if we have z transform of x2n as x2z, then x1n convolution x2n, the resultant Fourier transform will be x1z multiplied, the resultant one z transform will be, not Fourier transform, z transform will be x1z multiplied by x2z, and ROC will be Rx1 and Rx2. That means not O, it is and Rx1 region of convergence of x1 and Rx region of convergence of x2. Then we have conjugation. So x star n, that will be conjugation of x with z conjugate. Right? So we'll see these properties in examples. Right? So in here, you were given the z transform of an un. Right? So we'll take that as, according to this, z transform is 1 over 1 minus a z minus 1, and the region of convergence is z larger than a. Right? Then you were asked to find when a and un is multiplied by simple n, what will happen to the uh, z transform of that thing. So how can you find? In order to find this, what you have to do is you have to use the differentiation property. Right? So remember, when you have nxn, right? The according to the differentiation property, z transform of that thing will be minus z d xz over dz. So therefore, here you were given Fourier, you were given z transform of a n u n as 1 over 1 minus a into z to the power minus 1, where region of convergence is magnitude of z larger than a. Therefore, Fourier transform of z transform of n a n u n z transform, right? Z transform of n a n u n will be minus z derivative of 1 over 1 minus a z to the power minus 1, right? And ROC, that will not change, it will be magnitude of z larger than a, right? Then we can further simplify this, then you will get xz of n a n u n as a z minus 1 divided by 1 minus a z minus 1 and total power of 2, right? So take a look at the differentiation property again, you will understand this one clearly. What you are given here is z transform of a n u n is given, and you are asked to find z transform of n a n u n. That means a n u n is multiplied by simple n. When it is multiplied by simple n, the z domain it will change as minus z in minus z into derivative of xz. So that is what we have applied. Then next one, here this is, so you were given a z transform of a n u n. From previous one you can see the z transform of a n u n is equal to 1 over 1 minus a z minus 1, and region of convergence is z larger than a, magnitude of z larger than a. Then you are asked to find time reversal of a n u n, which is a minus n u minus n, right? So according to the previous property that we have seen, when we time reverse, what will happen to xz is, in xz you have to replace z by 1 over z, right? So therefore, if we are finding z transform of a minus n u minus n using the z transform of a n u n, so you have to replace z by 1 over z. That means z should be replaced by 1 over z. So in z transform of a n u n, you can see you will have 1 over 1 minus a into z to the power minus 1. In there, what you have to do is z to the power minus 1 you have to replace by z, right? So that is replacing z by 1 over z, right? That means z replacing by 1 over z means z 1 over z should be replaced by z, right? Same thing. So therefore, the z transform of a minus n u minus n, which is the time reversal of a n u n, will be 1 over 1 minus a z. So compare the two z transforms, they will have the same structure, but z is replaced by z minus 1, right? Z is replaced by z minus 1. That means z minus 1 is replaced by z. And what will happen in the region of convergence? Region of convergence will be magnitude of z less than magnitude of a to the power minus 1, right? Likewise, you can find z transform of the vessel